Hello everyone and welcome to Game 2 in a series between NIghtend and Hasu. Game 2 taking place here on Cloud Kingdom. Hasu spawning as the red Protoss player on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, NIghtend spawning as the blue Protoss player on the bottom left hand side of the map. Two of the more well-known players coming out from Europe. And we'll see how they approach this Protoss versus Protoss mirror match. Now, so far off the bat, Hasu looks like he does have a little bit of an advantage building up those probes. And now we are going to see about the same timing on the pylon. So a split-second difference there. It looks like Hasu got a little bit of a better split, a 3-second advantage in terms of the workers. And I know a lot of you guys out there are like, it's only 3 seconds. How big of a difference could it make? 3 seconds could be could turn into one stalker could turn into 5 stalkers, and 5 stalkers in a Protoss versus Protoss mirror match with early aggression could lead to the game. Now, we saw Hasu open up with Phoenix pressure, and rarely do I ever see Phoenix pressure actually work. There was catching some of those stalkers out of position, but because NIghtend had gone for that Twilight Council and had Blink, he was able to really catch up to those fast-moving Phoenixes and take them down quickly. NIghtend now opting to do a little bit of early scouting. Meanwhile, Hasu is doing the same, scouting around on the inside of his base, making sure that there are no proxy pylons before heading out to do a bit of scouting of his own. Now, we'll see where these probes will go and what information they will be able to glean from each other. So far, the builds look nearly identical. Gas is about the same. NIghtend a little bit ahead there. The simulator was already up for Hasu, but he hasn't really transferred any probes to Gas yet, and that may be a problem, especially if perhaps an early Stalker does come out. An early Zealot now being added. Cybernetics Core is coming in, but finally transferring 2 probes on Gas, not getting the full 3, so any sort of Stalker aggression, Stalker battle that he goes into, he will be a little bit behind. Now, one thing I will say is that all of these early aggressions in Wings of Liberty will pretty much go out the window in Heart of the Swarm. The Mothership Core with its Purify attack, also with a range of 10, able to deal a lot of damage, and that additional little bit of DPS causes a lot of problems. I guess you could try to blink straight up underneath it in order to shoot that core, but you will take a lot of damage still from that Purify, or sorry, from that one unit there, as the probes are now doing a little bit of a dance. One Zealot now just sitting here on the ramp. Is it going to be able to slip by? Oh, one shot, and a beautiful micro by NIghtend, squeezing out a probe. Now, double gateway Cybernetics Core, no additional buildings being built as of yet. Meanwhile, Hasu has not built any additional buildings either. Will he be going for a robotics facility, or will he try to repeat what he did in Game 1 to perhaps better success? Only 2 Zealots out. You can see NIghtend. Just running on 2 gateways, and now chrono boosting out stalkers, and NIghtend this time going for the Stargate. So this is actually a reversal of what we saw in Game 1. Will NIghtend be able to execute the Stargate strategy actually better than Hasu? Coming in so far, assimilators, there are 3 probes on Gas each. The Twilight Council is being built off over here. We are going to see an attack coming in. Stalkers and Zealots coming in, a little bit of an engagement. 1 Zealot now in the front, 2 Zealots now in. But this is not a good engagement for Hasu. The Stalkers are, yes, they're going to be able to finish off that 1 Zealot there. And now 3 Stalkers versus 2 Stalkers and a Zealot. The Zealot is there to absorb damage, but it does move a little bit more slowly than the other units. We are also going into a robotics facility, so it is going to be straight up Phoenixes versus a Twilight Council with a robotics facility. I believe in Game 1, NIghtend didn't get his robotics facility nearly as quickly, actually got more Stalkers and then built his robotics facility. We'll see if that comes back to haunt, as the robotics facility normally gets shut down by Stargate play. Stargate's able to Graviton Beam both Immortals, and what is this? NIghtend also going into Robotics Facility as well. So it is Twilight Council Robotics versus Stargate Robotics, as Hasu now behind by 5 supply. Let's take a look at the total losses. It is 100 resources lost. That is essentially it. Twilight Council now researching that Blink off over here. We are now going into an Observer Blink Stalker play early on. Meanwhile, we will be going up against Phoenixes, and these Phoenixes may be able to harass the mineral line. Hasu does not have any defense here, and will he be able to actually defend it is the key question. Stalkers hoping that with Blink they can get underneath those Phoenixes and perhaps shoot them out of the sky. Phoenixes very, very tanky though. 180 hit points, and they only take 10 damage per attack from a Stalker, since the Stalker only deals bonus damage versus armored. Here we go. Phoenix is now looking to come in. It looks like 3 probes will be dead, even perhaps 4. There's 1 probe. There's 2. There's 3. And now waiting for the energy, there is 4. So 4 probes now shot down. Stalker's being forced to come back home. Stalker's able to blink forward, and 1 Phoenix does get destroyed. So in terms of overall losses, we should be about even. 250 versus 300. Phoenixes are very expensive. The difference, though, is the worker count. 24 harvesters versus 33. And NIghtend does not need any more workers. 24 for the probes. 6 for the assimilators, and that is all you really need. What is this, though? A Congo line of Stalkers now making their way across the map. Is it going to be enough? That is a lot of units, as Observers and Phoenixes now coming around. Well, we'll see what will be happening next, as 1 Phoenix does take a lot of damage here. All right, we are going to see a little bit of an engagement, but the Stalkers now get free shots on Hasu, and Hasu actually forced to reveal that he has Blink. There is 1 Observer here. There is 1 pylon here. I believe this pylon can warp up onto the high ground here, as we now see a little bit of an engagement. The Immortal is going to cause problems, though, as NIghtend in a very, very superior defensive position, and now Stalkers making their way over to shut down and destroy this pylon. All right, the Stalkers are backing off over here. Hasu knows that he cannot go to seriously engage there, as 1 Stalker does get force field and trapped, trading a pylon for a Stalker. A good trade by Hasu, as all he really lost was 1 pylon and then the 50 or 100 energy from those 2 force fields. Now, NIghtend looking to even things up in terms of overall tech, getting up a Twilight Council of his own. Meanwhile, we see NIghtend looking to scouting out Hasu's expansion. So if Hasu is able to hold his opponent, he will have a strong economic lead. But that is a very big if on if he can hold his opponent. 3 Immortals, each dealing 50 damage per attack. A new pylon now being warped in off over here. And we'll see what will be happening. Still, Stalkers and Stalkers, 1 Observer out in the front. Will they be able to get off those key shots? Immortals with a range of 6 now, able to keep track. And now what is going to be happening as the Phoenixes may get shot down? Oh, blinking across, not really getting the necessary damage, as we can see that NIghtend now knows that there is an Observer nearby. Stalkers blinking up onto the high ground. Oh, catch out of position. This is not a good spot for Hasu to be in. Hasu needs to blink back, and that may have been it. Losing 2 Stalkers while only picking off 1 Phoenix. Hasu cannot exchange like this. If he exchanges like this, he will be in a lot of trouble, as more Stalkers now warping in. He cannot hope to actually contain his opponent. At this point, he should just back off, knowing that he has an advantage in terms of overall, in terms of economy. He has another base up. He has less diminishing returns, which means that he will be able to just get in more units and catch up that way. So far, the Stalkers are still trying to figure out where they can go. Hasu with a much smaller army, perhaps not realizing it. There is 1 probe back over here. Production tab shows that Immortals and a Robotics Bay now being added. And here we go. Here's an engagement. 1 Immortal pushed down. Stalker's able to blink down, and NIghtend catching Hasu, not realizing that, hey, if I have Blink, so can my Protoss opponent. Hasu now trying to get away. The Phoenixes should be able to get off another Graviton beam or 2. No, the Phoenix is unable to catch up so far. 1 bad blink by Hasu, but it looks like the Phoenixes are not catching up, as Zealots were able to run inside the base. 6 workers have been killed. Now trying to snipe down this Nexus, not gonna work. Unfortunately for Hasu, the Protoss Nexus was buffed up a little bit more to have more hit points. Zealots now trying to finish off the rest of these probes here, And now worker kill count is about even. 35 for Hasu, 23 for NIghtend. Army composition, NIghtend with a much stronger army. And now all Hasu needs to do is hold his opponent. Colossus now coming online. Stalkers are now trying to engage, but oh, got caught out of position again. One Phoenix almost gets shot down. The Stalkers, are they going to try to engage once more? And what will be happening? The Stalkers able to blink back again. There are 2 Immortals and 1 Colossus coming in, but they're with so many Immortals on the field that Colossus, without extended thermal lance range, won't be able to do much. 1 Phoenix goes down, and that is a huge loss. What is going to be happening next? As the units are still trying to come in, and here we go. No force fields as the Stalkers blinking forward. Immortals need to try and force and turn around. Hasu unable to really defend the Colossus. Not going to be enough here as both sides are still fighting. You can see the Stalkers blinking forward, shutting down that Colossus before it really got up and running. And Hasu does have to say GG, losing game 2, losing 2 straight games to NIghtend. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.